Fortnite Chapter 7 is bringing back a lot of old super popular storyline characters, and the latest one being the Ice King. And as the Professor Lord, the old man who locks you up in your chair with I take you into my basement, and in the basement there is like 10 different screens all around you. I put the Fortnite storyline, the Fortnite lore, you have to keep watching it for the rest of your life till the only thing you can think about, the only thing in your brain is gonna be the Fortnite lore. I got the book of lore to teach you everything about the Ice King, why exactly he is so beloved, who he is, and his entire storyline and more. So if you don't want to join in with the foundation, then like the video right now and enjoy the show. The Ice King was introduced as a character in Chapter 1 Season 7. He was eternally asleep and frozen on the Ice Moon, which was found right on top of the Chapter 1 island. Once the cube exploded, it sent a cosmic storm shockwave that broke a big chunk of the ice on this moon, and then it dropped right into the waters of the island. But wait a damn minute, where does this moon even exactly come from?
The moon doesn't come from anywhere, you dumbass. It's the moon. It shines in the dark. Like, look at that goddamn moon. Oh my god, it haunts you.
Bro, I think you're in the wrong game.
Wait. What do you mean? Isn't this Rivals?
I mean, maybe yes, no, maybe I don't know, but Fortnite just basically copied y'all.
Oh damn. I guess by the moon.
Where did he even come from? The origin of the Ice King and the moon is a place called the Frozen Reality. This is a Norse mythology inspired world where the true castle of the Ice King is found on. On this place, the Ice King had 4 knights who traveled onto other realities with him. They together basically searched for the most powerful weapons or living beings that are too dangerous to exist out there. Talking about wanting to collect them, put them, like freeze them in his castle as his collections and everything, bro was basically just chasing to find the most dangerous Pokemons out there. It's said that the Ice King used to be known by another name, but so far we have absolutely no idea what exactly that name is. Then one day these 5 lords come to meet on the Ice Moon, and something that the Ice King was horrified of actually happens here. He saw the greatest threat of them all, Tim Sweeney.
Looper, I heard you got some change in that wallet. Ooh. So we made the V-Bucks a little bit more expensive to pay my bill. Looper, come here. Pay my bill right now.
The Ice King was always worried of his knights getting tempted to do weird things with the powerful collections they have made. His favorite knight and the closest friend turns out to be the one calling for the use of these collections and the change of realities to their liking. But Ice King just started this like collecting super powerful monsters and weapons and everything as just like probably the guy was bored and he was like, I wanna do something nice. I wanna just like, I'm so rich, I'm so powerful, why not try to actually do something kind? So of course the guy would be extremely against the idea of like going against the natural flow of realities and the omniverse, which is exactly why a fight breaks out here and the Fire Knight just slams his chair on the ground and leaves, causing him and all the other 3 knights to be smacked and frozen by the Ice King. But Ice Boy really enjoyed just going collecting things with the bros. It was just like a fun time. They were going to smack things and everything. They were having fun together. But now his boys, he's like the boys group is gone. He's lonely now. There is nobody to go hunting with him. That's sad. But wait, what about the Ice Queen?
Oh, I forgot to buy some milk. Bye!
He takes the knights and all their collections onto his frozen moon, turning that place into a prison for all of it. As then he manages to riff the entire thing onto Reality Zero. He tells us how this reality was chosen because Reality Zero is meant to be a lonely safe world. So of course because of that, it was just a perfect place to hide this giant massive prison in the Reality Zero what am I saying? But how did this guy exactly even know of Reality Zero? Especially when he says that this place is supposed to be a lonely reality, there's supposed to be no living beings and things like that in it. How do you know that? Wait a minute, that's kinda sus. The only logical answer to me would be that he must have had experience with this reality in the past. Maybe even the 0 point itself. I mean, it would be kind of cool if he was the one actually behind the creation of the vault, as the way to kind of protect the 0 point and present powerful objects. I mean, just think about it. He presented like the Infinity Blade and the planes came in Chapter 7 and everything, and the Infinity Blade was also present in this place in a similar form to the way the Ice King like freezes everything. sauce. That would also explain there being 5 keys to open the vault as well, each representing one of the rulers. It would also bring up a possible connection between Singularity and the Ice King. I mean, do you remember the statue in Chapter 4's Frozen reality chunk? And how the 7 are actually kinda teased to be the reality warriors. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one for another video. Once arrived, the Ice King chose to also stay on the Ice Moon and fall into eternal sleep, but he was also found on the very ice chunk that dropped onto the waters of the island. And as the ice kept melting more and more, he finally awakened. It was like a normal sleep. He was like, who dares wake me up? Right away he goes after many of his collections that were getting released and stolen. But the thing which he was the most scared of was one of his knights frozen in the basement of this castle. The exact same one who came up with the idea of altering realities. And at the same time the ice is melting so hard to the point that soon the fire prisoner is probably gonna wake up and break out of prison. So the Ice King was like, nah, I'm not gonna let that happen, so he began preparing for it. His plan becomes charging up to summon a giant snowstorm on the entire island to bring down the temperatures and stop the melting. Then at the same time take a tiny chunk of the dead cube and alter it to use his power to summon a frozen version of the fiends under his own control. And this army was made in case he has to fight against the prisoner, which was a really smart choice to make, because in no time right away the snow, all the like the frozen, the snowstorm and everything, it just goes by, all the snow is melting already and the prisoner actually manages to escape. My man goes to a campfire for reheating his body, then uses a type of summoning circle to gain back his fiery powers. As right away he begins melting things under the map and pushing them up to create a volcano base. It's just like the man just comes out, the man is on a prison and everything is like, you know what, I'm gonna make a volcano base, that's actually badass. But when he escaped the prison, the knight also took one of Ice King's collections with him too. Those are hybrid eggs, which as the name implies, they are human-dragon mixed species. The prisoner in his volcano evolves into a Fire King as he warms and makes his eggs grow into fully born hybrids. Basically his own army to fight against the fiends of the Ice King. The fight goes on for a really long time as the Fire King erupts his volcano against the Ice King. But in the end, of course, as always, the goat stands undefeated, Wombo comboing his ass back into being frozen. As we're left to think that the prisoner was just left frozen in the ocean. Cause for now the focus shifts back onto Polar Peak, because the volcano managed to directly hit this thing, making it melt even faster. The ice ends up revealing the eye of another prison collection of Ice King, which is a devourer monster. This thing is so damn strong to the point that the Ice King has absolutely no idea how he's gonna put this thing back into sleep, which this should mean that he probably managed to capture this monster with the help of his other knights. But he's just lonely now. He's just a lonely ice boy. We don't talk about Ice Queen. No, no, no. Thankfully though, Singularity, Paradigm and the IO do come in clutch and manage to kill the monster instead. Huh. Wait, interesting. This is actually really interesting that Singularity again is the one to come in to fix up the mess of the Ice King, and the Ice King was like, okay, sure, this guy's got it. They're gonna do everything. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna go back to the Ice Moon. Singularity and Ice King, I am sauce on both of you. The vault with the 5 keys and Singularity was in there, and the walls remind me of the walls of the Ice King, collecting and vault. I know what you two are doing, but I'm gonna talk about that in another video. If you wanna see that video, like the video, subscribe and check out my movie channel. Do it right now, do it. But now that all 4 of Ice King's collections are finally taken care of, he regrets the chaos that happened and chooses to make his Ice Moon deadly levels cold to the point that nothing can even survive coming into it or staying in it. Meaning that even his frozen collections, all of them and everything, probably those are also dead now. This comes in handy many years later on Chapter 3 Season 2, where we finally get to meet the Ice King again. But in the comics though, not really in game, but even in the comics, even when you look at the picture in the comics, god damn, he's so cool. Look at the in this comic we were shown how after Paradigm was done killing the Devourer, she flew right into the frozen moon to use it as a weapon against the IO, making sure that they can't really take her back into prison. And now so many years later, the 7 have come to this place for using the mech against the IO. And they managed to also find her in the mech, but like they didn't even really come to find her. They just wanted the mech. But if the moon is supposed to kill you, how did they exactly survive coming here? Well, they wouldn't have even the 7 suits are not strong enough to protect them against the Ice King, and that's why they got help from Thor and Storm to calm the storm down. Even then though, the Ice King is so damn strong to the point that they could only keep it calm for a really limited time, and if you're like maybe like 10 days, maybe like 2 days, maybe like 5 days, and when you reach the limit, they're all gonna die. Especially after Jon steps on the very trap that the Ice King put down, making a hologram of the Ice King appear, explain exactly who he is and everything, and tell the guys that
you managed to survive my ice storm. That means that you must be a really powerful being, which also means that you're too dangerous to be out there free in realities. So let me just put this AC from -30 onto -80. You're gonna be my frozen collection now. Yippee!
He's just like freezing things up, and then something comes to him and he also wants to freeze that thing off too. The old habits, they never go away. This shows off how crazy strong the Ice King is even more, cause now Thor and Storm are overpowered and everybody needs to leave the Ice Moon right now or they're gonna become collections. And that was exactly where Paradigm blew up the entire castle. Why would she exactly do that? Like, you got everything, you got the 0-point shard and just leave the Ice Moon. Why did you have to ruin my man's castle? What is wrong with you? But again, it could be because Paradigm has connections to reality warriors and everything, and this reality was like the reality warriors are from the frozen reality, and maybe she has like personal beef with the Ice King. I hope whatever it is, we managed to find out in this season. Since then though, we really didn't get to see the Ice King anymore for just like a really long time. Every time the man just shows up, and then for years he's just gone, until chapter 4 actually, chapter 4 season 1. We still didn't really get to see him come back to the storyline, which is really sad, but a chunk of his frozen reality was pulled because of Paradigm to forge a new island. A chunk that had a fortress for the reality warriors, and also like a lot of statues of a woman, and just like everywhere, like who exactly is this? I'm gonna talk about that in the end of the video, because chapter 4, everything we got frozen reality in chapter 4, all of that was a teaser, was like an introduction to what we're getting in this very season. But before we talk about that, it's time to bring up Fortnite OG, because the Ice King actually first returns in this game mode. Except this thing you see here, it's not really our Ice King, it's like a clone of him or something. Which if you wanna understand that, yo, Scyan, what the hell do you mean that this is not the same Ice King? Well, like how many Ice Kings do we even have? And if it's not the same Ice King, then why is it a clone? Why is it not a different reality version or something? I recommend you to watch this video right here. I explain exactly why everything in Fortnite OG is like a clone of everything, even though like the island itself is a clone and everything. But like, watch this after finishing this video. Stay after finishing this video, then watch this thing. Whenever you just like keep watching. And this is also exactly why he looks really different in the Fortnite OG event. My man looks like an ice boy instead of an Ice King with an ugly ass unibrow. Probably a clone got like no ice speeches and everything is just ugly. So then okay, if this is like a clone of the Ice King, where the hell is the actual Ice King? Does he even exist? Is he gone? Is he dead? Where is the Ice King? Oh my god, there we go. Now we get to actually talk about the new season, chapter 7, season 2. It keeps getting more gorgeous, except this one. You gotta go away, shoot, pow. But this, how did he manage to become even cooler? Oh my god. Hey, Scyan from the future here, and the season 2 of Fortnite just started. And let me just tell you, I'm confused as fuck. In chapter 7, we saw Dark Voyager come in and find new pieces of the 0-point. Total of 3 were taken as the Voyager shot his own ship's energy to charge them up, causing the shards to open rift or source 3 other pieces in different realities. As one of the shards, the 7th one, we still have no idea where exactly that is. One of the 3 portals turns out to be open towards the frozen reality, home of the Ice King, which is exactly why the shard Ice King and his castle got rifted into chapter 7. Right on arrival, the Dark Voyager personally comes to meet with the Ice King without even wearing his mask, probably talking about wanting the foundation from him, because the guy was tasked with killing the foundation, if you remember the kill list and everything, yeah, that. And asking to take the 0-point shard too, because of course the whole point of the Dark Voyager is to restore the 0 points, so like, it's obvious. But the Ice King is not really willing to do any of that, because as we know, the guy is not really a villain. He's actually a good person who's just not really willing to trust any other hero. Even then, these two do make a deal together, but the deal that they make is like, is garbage, is corrupted, is weak and everything. Because the Voyager is just planning to take advantage of the Ice King to follow the orders given to him from his master, which now seems even more likely to be the Nothing itself, as the Ice King also just wants to use the Dark Voyager to restore the 0-point and after hide it to keep it safe from everyone everyone else. Basically just do the exact same thing he does to all of his other collections. Which if you think about it more, if you have seen like the past of Fortnite storyline, this is the exact same thing that has happened before with Megalodon and Dr. Doom. The two were working together but not really, each of them had their own goals and everything, and when Dr. Doom reached his goals before Megalodon, he basically just betrayed Megalodon like bye bye, you gotta die, bye bye. And that's the exact same thing happening right now. Ice King and the Dark Voyager are just taking advantage from each other. The Ice King hates both the Seven, the Voyager, and the Elites, which are a group Hope managed to get united with in this fight. That's because, as we have said before, the Ice King collects powerful beings and objects, because he's just scared that in the wrong hands these things could bring the end to many realities. So the reason why he wants to freeze the Foundation so bad is because of that too. The Foundation is one of the strongest people to ever exist, a beyond powerful super soldier. So the Ice King really wants to take him away before he falls into the wrong hands. Just like how the Scientist, Origin, and Visitor actually did fall in the wrong hands. This again is exactly what the Ice King told the Seven in Zero Wars 2, that they are like way too powerful. The fact that they managed to actually survive in his ice moon, that makes the Seven kinda too dangerous to be out there in realities. They might harm realities and everything. It's the exact same idea as the Zero War comics. Also because my man blew up his damn castle. So the Ice King probably is like, bitch, I don't freeze you and you break my castle, I'm gonna whoop your ass. So that's exactly the goal of the Ice King in this season, as you can actually choose to join his side in this fight or the Seven. Whichever you choose, in-game you will be given tasks from your choice. And the idea is that whichever group wins more of this task and kills the other side more is gonna win. Now regarding the castle of Ice King, which is the main one and not the one from the Ice Moon, rather his actual home place from the frozen reality. You can't really find the weapons or the collections you saw in the comics here, because as we said, the Ice King basically went to all of his other castles and his like nice castles, took all the collections and everything, the dangerous ones, and took all of them into the moon and basically turned the Ice Moon into a prison. So there is just a limited amount of collections left on the other castles like this one. There is, for example, the frozen people we saw from the trailers, like the Foundation who used this suit's heater to melt the ice and escape, the prisoner who should be the original one, cause as you remember the Ice King froze him again and probably took him back to his actual castle after. Then there is Aurelia, which is really interesting because Oro is how Midas got his golden touch and Aurelia is the same thing but for Marigold. And I really hope that this means that maybe Midas is gonna get some lore in this season too, that would be cool. Then Captain America, which is ironic because he's a super soldier like Foundation, and the suit he's wearing here is also from the first movie where he was frozen inside of ice too. Guan Yu, who has a dragon style, so maybe he's like a really strong person, so the Ice King was like, you're too powerful, I'm gonna chill you too. Or just a random Chinese person, I don't know. There was also Naked Peely. I have no idea why the Ice King was scared of that one. Maybe the pill-less energy was too creepy for him? But it doesn't really matter anymore because only his feet are left. Then we got this Lebubu-ass goober who is said to be the Prince of the Ice King. Okay, when reading that this thing is actually the Prince of the Ice King, I was like, wait a second, did the Ice King actually used to look this ugly too? Because like if he's the dad and the genes of the Ice King, maybe Ice King had the Ice Queen and he had the baby and the baby turned out to be this, then the Ice King maybe looks like this too?
We can't expect God to do all the work.
But the information says that Ice King just adopted this thing as his son, so we're safe right now. This is not actually his own genes. Then some other collections we got are a pirate ship from Koros from chapter 2, the tilted clock tower, bunch of grills. I guess bro really enjoys grilling or something. Why? There is even an icebox, like why? The robots from chapter 6, gnomes, unicorns, slurp, and a battle axe. Then a bunch of ducks. A damn banana on a wall, and he even proceeded to like put things around it to make sure nobody touches the banana. Goddamn banana on a wall. Ice King, how old are you? Are you like older than 1,000 years old? Are you one of those rich people who put a banana on a wall and buys it for 5? What the hell is wrong with you? And now for the most important collections, obviously the 0-point shard itself, the Infinity Blade frozen to be protected for now. He's gonna so use that thing against the Foundation, just wait. And the skull of the very same monster we killed in chapter 1. There is also a collection of 3 statues, the Foundation Geno and this one from the Greek underworld. This to me has to be a teaser for something big, because like putting Foundation, leader of the Seven, near like the leader of Imagine Order Geno, near like a statue from the Greek underworld. Like just think about it, how many main factions we got in the Fortnite lore? There's 3 of them. You got 2 of the leaders here and a 3rd statue and a 3rd faction. I mean, maybe this means that the Cube Queen is actually from the Greek reality and that's her home. Which also might mean that since the Foundation is back right now and he's one of the statues, after him we're gonna get Geno back, and after Geno we're gonna have the Cube Queen back. That would be really interesting. There is also a map of the castle showing all of the important locations on it, but many of these are actually not in the game yet. When the castle got rifted here, this chunk of the castle got destroyed and it didn't really make it into the island. But the important thing which we learn here is that this guy, do you see him? This is actually our Ice King. It's not like an OG one. He got the same memories, he came here from the frozen reality and not OG. He has collections of things that our Ice King did, and he has beef with the Foundation, proving that he is ours. Now the part that has me really confused is the fact that then why the hell is the OG one, the OG Ice King, actually a style for this one? Well, to me that's because Fortnite just preferred to give us both of them together in the battle pass rather than selling one of them in the item shop and the other one in the battle pass. Because some of the leakers have even told me that originally Ice King as we thought was supposed to be an item shop skin. The OG one I mean. But then ideas changed, everything got mixed up and Fortnite was like no, do you see these two? Mix them up and put both of them in the battle pass. Then when you put these two side by side, the eyes are different, the crown is different, one of them is built fully out of ice and the other one not really at all. And just the entire theme about these two is completely different, there is no similarities whatsoever. As in Fortnite OG there is still season 8 to go through, as the Ice King is part of the lore of. So the clone Ice King's work is not even really finished to come into like chapter 7, he's still got a lot of things to do, so how could he be in OG and in chapter 7 at the same time? Unless they're just not the same person, that's it. Even if the portal was open towards the frozen reality and not OG. So Ice King from OG wouldn't even really be able to come here because the portal wasn't even open towards him. Then there is also the fact that we got a prisoner in OG right now making a volcano, while there is also one here which is the original. So if we have 2 prisoners right now, one of them is in chapter 7 and one of them is in chapter 1, then why exactly wouldn't we have 2 Ice Kings? Like why? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know that there is a loading screen in the battle pass showing the guy on the castle's throne, but that's just a callback to the original loading screen, and the reason why this edit style is chosen is because Fortnite always does that. They make one loading screen per each of the super important edit styles of the characters in the battle pass. Like for example, do you remember Dark Voyager? There was one for his like first edit style and there was another one for the red one. The edit style of the skins you see in the loading screens were never really canon to the Fortnite lore, so never really think about those too much. Even if you look at all of the cinematics of the storyline, the only style you see in them is this one, not the OG one. But if you don't want to really agree with me, which how dare you, I am Professor Lore, I got the book of lore, I'm gonna beat you with this lore, like this is you, right? I'm gonna beat you with the damn ball! Now what exactly is gonna be the future of this fight, Ice King versus the Foundation? Well, the Foundation feels beyond annoyed with the Ice King, to the point that he just wants to kill the guy to be done with him, so he can just move on from all of the distraction and focus on the Dark Voyager instead. That's right there, the distraction is exactly what the Dark Voyager wants. While the Ice King is also not willing to stop chasing the Foundation because he is scared that the Foundation's powers could fall in the wrong hands. This makes 2 endings possible. The first choice obviously is that one of these 2 kills the other side and gets freed from them. Or the second choice, what I'm hoping for. The Ice King and the Foundation, both of them want the same thing, they want the 0 point to be protected from dangerous things. I personally think that eventually they realize that they need to put their differences aside for the greater good, and team up to fight the boss of the Dark Voyager, the big guy being teased right now. Because again, none of these 2 are really a villain, I don't see why exactly they should keep fighting each other. One of them wants actually things to be good and protected and safe, the other one also wants things to be good and protected and safe. Why would they keep fighting? I don't know. Why would they not instead join together to fight against the main villain, which is the Dark Voyager? Because as you can see from the key art of this season 2, both on the background of Ice King and the Foundation, you can see one half of the Dark Voyager's ship on both sides, meaning that the guy is actually manipulating both sides of the fight from behind the scene. Do you remember season 2 chapter 2 where Midas created a fake Ghost vs Shadow war to distract the IO, so he can just build the Doom doomsday device in peace without anyone annoying him. That's basically exactly what's happening right now. This Foundation and Ice King fight is manipulated to happen by the Dark Voyager, so the two sides are too distracted on fighting each other, therefore allowing the Voyager to follow his missions without someone annoying him. Genuinely man, this season 2 chapter 7, mwah, such a banger lore. So if you want to see me make more storyline videos on the lore of chapter 7, then use code Scyan in the Fortnite item shop. And subscribe to the channel and like this video too. As wait a minute, you want another lore video on this season's storyline? Here you go. Maybe this is about the Foundation, maybe this is about like the entire storyline of this season and everything. Who knows what exactly it is? Just click it and go